We talk about al-hidayah, guidance. Okay. Just recap. Leading to betterment, furthering to elevation, helping and aiding in maintenance, survival, and or propagation, providing blueprints, okay, codes. That's what guidance is. Thus, universal guidance, where everything in existence has been given the tools for survival and propagation. Whether we call it living or non-living, these were the terms that were used earlier, living and non-living. Today, it's hard to say what is non-living. Okay. We have it in the biological sense, maybe, okay. But are atoms non-living? Are molecules non-living? Is the macro system of the universe non-living? The string that binds them, that fluctuates in a coordinated rhythm, is non-living. I don't know how we call these things non-living. Okay. Yes. Okay. That constant attraction and repulsion. Okay. That electromagnetic balance that is there. Okay. Without which nothing would survive. They would collide with each other. Is non-living. Okay. But the biologists define non-living as a system that cannot propagate itself. Okay. A system that cannot propagate itself, which means it does not create the like of it. Okay. A plant, you put a seed in the ground, okay. The plant emerges, okay. It has fruit, okay, and the fruits have seeds, okay, and the system goes on, okay. Say living, animal living, okay, human beings living, jinn living, okay. That's how they classify it. For other things, they say they are non-living. But are they non-living, or is there any universal consciousness that exists, okay, of which we are not aware of? Okay, that connects everything, okay, to divine, to the Creator, to Allah. Okay. His uniqueness is such, okay, that he cannot be defined except in the terms that he has coined for himself. And those terms are for us to understand, okay, and not to completely explain his uniqueness or his essence or his power or his authority or his control or his desire or his will. Nothing. Okay. Yes, there is universal consciousness. Okay. Okay. We are not aware of it. Okay. Sometimes we say we have the sixth sense, for example, okay, or maybe a seventh sense, whatever it is, okay. And we, for a moment, are in touch with the reality that's beyond our perception. Okay. Okay. Is it a reflection of divine consciousness? I don't know. No one can define it. Okay. No one can define it. When the Prophet himself said, "Ma arraftuka hatta ma'rifatak," okay. So who else could understand? If there's one human being, one creation, who could fully comprehend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that was Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Okay. Okay. And he says, I did not. So who else? not really right. Okay. We can't even count the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Forget understanding Him. Okay. We can't understand or count His blessings on us. And ta'uddu ni'matallah la tahsuha. If you try to count the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you won't be able to encompass them. Okay. So He has given a guidance. Okay. Many of our thinkers are stuck with the universal model. Okay. Okay. I'm talking about human thinkers, not necessarily Muslims, human thinkers. They are engaged with that model. Big Bang, something comes into existence. Okay. It's an alphabet soup. Okay. And that gives rise to creation. Isn't it? Well, who guided that alphabet soup to that particular path of creation? That's the hidayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If that's what it is, then this is what it is. Not for a single moment of existence there was occurrence of anything without the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. And that guidance is universal guidance. Okay. We talk about, and I think we have spoken earlier also, okay, how huge is the universe? Okay. What is the distance from our planet to other planet, to our sun? Our sun in the solar system, and our solar system versus other solar systems. And by the way, our solar system is one of the smallest solar systems in that galaxy. Yes, at the end of a galaxy, Milky Way is the end of the Milky Way. One of the smallest solar systems. How are other solar systems? Is life possible there? Maybe it is. If it is possible there, then the guidance is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wherever life exists, in whatever form it is, the guidance is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Period. Okay. So, we say that the age of universe is infinite now. Okay. We don't know. Okay. There's some estimate for 13.6 billion light years, Okay. Then, I think a couple of days ago, they said, no, it's shorter than that. Okay. Maybe it is. Who has counted it? These are estimations. These are estimations. One of the beauties of Quran is that Quran has not given a specific. Okay. Go and research. Go and try to find. Okay. Okay. Find it. Okay. If Allah wanted, He would have given it, because He's the creator. But no, go and find it. Okay. In the hadai tazkara, man shad takhadha ila rabbihi sabila. All this is for you to find a pathway to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing else. Many times we look at knowledge, okay, in itself as the end. Okay. Whether it's physics, whether it's chemistry, biology, whatever it is. We look at knowledge itself as the end. Okay. Islamic concept is that knowledge is a path, okay, okay, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. आपको जब इल्म हासिल हो तो अल्लाह की मारिफत ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए. Okay. That's where modern science has failed. Okay. Because they look at knowledge, whatever it is, whatever field it is, okay, cosmology, okay, physics, chemistry, biology. Okay. They look at knowledge as the end. Ali looks at knowledge as a pathway to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Acquire knowledge, Prophet says, from cradle to grave. Okay? There should not be any stoppage in acquisition of knowledge. It should be constant. Okay? But that is not the end. Okay? The end is the marifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to your level, whatever your level is. Okay? Whatever your knowledge has yielded for you. Okay? The great scientist of our time, Hawkins, okay, who died a few years ago, okay, he said that there may be universes beyond our universe that we don't know about. And he said maybe the black holes would lead us to a new universe. At the zenith of his knowledge, okay, Hawkins said this. Okay, that was the last speech that he made in, I think, Sweden somewhere. Okay, before his death. Okay, he said that maybe, maybe there's a super universe. He said, okay, that may extend to infinity. But we know that nothing is infinite. Okay. Everything that's created is finite. So its size, shape, its color, form, everything has been determined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only that, okay, it is preserved in the book, La Radbin wala yabsin illa fi kitabin mubin. Okay, Quran says, there's nothing better dry. That's not in the manifest book. What is that manifest book? Okay. Quran, yes. Okay. Extent of Quran, yes. Okay. But when Quran is personified in a person, it is none other than Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Okay. The fact is, Quran in practice is the Prophet, and Prophet in words is Quran. That's it. Okay. So, universal guidance. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it for everyone, the whole cosmos. Okay. And any law of nature, okay, that you see, okay, is tuned to that. What? To maintenance, survival, and propagation. A beautiful example is in water. Okay. We know from physics that solids are heavier than liquid, and liquids are heavier than gases. Gases are the lightest, isn't it? That's what physical laws tell. But water is exception. Water is exception. Okay. Ice is lighter than liquid water. For a moment, let's go to the oceans of the world and the freezing temperatures. Okay. If the top surface of ice froze and sank down because solid is lighter than liquid, every subsequent layer of water would turn into ice and would keep on sinking down till there would be no marine life at all. So the laws he has made are tuned to existence. Okay. That law is on the book correct, that those things that are solid are heavier than liquid, and those things that are liquid are heavier than the gases. That's true universally, but that one is exception. Okay, and that exception is for survival. Okay. Can you imagine? That is the universal guidance. When Prophet Musa alayhi wa nabiyana salam, okay, said to Pharaoh, the Surah Taha, 20 surah, Rabbana alladhi a'ata kulla shay'in khalqahu thumma hada. Our Lord is the one who has given existence to everything, thumma hada, and then has guided. Existence would be nullified if guidance is not there. Existence would be nullified if guidance is not there. So that is the universal level. Okay. We look at planets. Okay. The inner core of Sun. Okay. The temperature is 1 million centigrade. Estimate again. That's the estimation. The core of Sun has a temperature of 1 million degrees centigrade. Okay. However, outside is 6,000 degrees centigrade. Still a lot, but compared to 1 million, it's nothing. Okay. And we, at a distance of, so many miles, okay. How many? Probably 900,000 miles, whatever it is. Okay. We feel the heat. Okay. And we measure it in terms of Fahrenheit or centigrade, okay? And we say it's a hot day. Why? The temperature is 110 degrees, okay? Maybe the highest recorded temperature is 120 or 130, whatever it is, somewhere in Sindh in Pakistan or Sahara in Egypt, okay? That's it. And we are unable to tolerate it. Suppose the temperature rose to 190 degrees, would we be able to survive? Would the plant life survive? But the distance between Earth and Sun is maintained at a level that survival is possible. Okay? The heat is needed. The heat is needed. Okay? Without heat also you can't survive. Okay? But the temperature is not to the level that survival will become impossible. In other words, Earth could not be drawn closer to Sun for the life to exist in the form it is on the Earth. Okay. So that's a delicate balance of guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Many telescopes have come into existence one after another. Okay. Last was, Hubble. There are many telescopes in different parts of the world. Okay. And the estimate now of the galaxies, I think I said that last time also, okay, is probably 2 trillion. 2 trillion galaxies. If each galaxy has only 100 solar systems, how many solar systems will be there? There's 2 trillion galaxies, okay? And each galaxy has just 100 solar systems, not more. Even though we know there are much more solar systems. 100 times 2. It's 200 trillion. Amazing. Okay. The observable universe, they say, observable to who? To us. Not real, to us. with the technology that we have, 94 billion light years across. There is a term called septillion. Septillion. That means you add 21 zeros. So it's 550 septillion miles. So after 550, you add 21 more zeros. Mind-boggling? Yes. And everything has been put into its own compartment, its own orbit, tied with that string theory, as people call it, okay, or whatever it is. Yeah. I cannot be judgmental because I don't have that extent of knowledge, number one. And number two, the scientific knowledge keeps on changing. What is today is good for today. Okay? 10 years down the road, we don't know if this theory would exist or not, or would be acceptable or not. Okay? Something new may come up. Okay? All we know is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, has been guided to its existence and its survival by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for an appropriate time. Okay? And there's going to be a time when Quran says, okay, in many surahs, you know, okay, that everything will be upside down. Okay. The whole universe, universes, how great is your Lord, and how dare we disobey Him. गुनाह करते हुए ख्याल आना चाहिए कि उसकी नाफरमानी कैसे करेंगे. So that is one stage, you know, of guidance, that is universal guidance for everything in existence. Okay. The second stage of guidance is for humanity or existence similar to human beings, or jinn, or anyone else we don't know about, which may be in other planets, other solar systems, other galaxies, other universes. We don't know. There's a quote to one of our imams that there may be 14 Kaabas. Yours is one. Where, on what planet? Okay. On what solar system? In which galaxy? I don't know. Okay. Dr. Nazir Hasan Zaidi, my good friend, okay, used to say, when we talked about Imam Ali saying these things, people didn't ask, you know, he said, if I was there, I would ask him the pathways to galaxies. और बालों को पूछते रहे कि सर पे बाल कितने हैं. For a moment I think how insulting is for a man of wisdom and knowledge, okay, that people don't take advantage of it. Allah Akbar. So I still miss him, okay, because we used to talk about things that, you know, cannot be digested in general public, you know. Okay. So, how vast the universe is, okay. Of course, this is about 15 years ago that I'm talking about, okay. And the expansion is still going on, we don't know. Let's say it's an expanding universe, okay. When would the expansion end? If it is minute end, we don't know. But Quran has told us clearly that it's going to end. And it's going to be on the day of judgment. That's one phase that's going to end. Quran has used the word hidayah, okay, in many forms. Okay. Hidayah on the day of judgment would lead believers to paradise and sinners to hell. And that's my last conclusion, next section inshallah. So that hidayah is also hidayah. Okay. But the hidayah on the earth. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to create human beings. This is after the creation of universe. And after many things were created. Okay. We have reports that jinn were created earlier and Iblis was one of the jinns. We have reports that some creation similar to mankind was there also. Okay. And that's called nasnas. This is insan and that's nasnas. Okay. And most probably when the angels saw them creating discord and disaster and bloodshed and finally being destroyed, okay, that's what angels had seen when angels said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, would you create someone who is going to create fitna? They didn't have advanced knowledge of human beings doing that, by the way. Keep that in mind. Angels did not have the advanced knowledge of human beings doing that. What they were saying was based on what they saw. They didn't have any idea that they would know what human beings are going to do. Based on their experience, okay, that knowledge was experience based. Okay. Okay. And that creation had destroyed, okay, everything around. They had observed him. Okay. They saw it. Okay. And based on what they saw, okay, so you're going to create anyone else who is going to do the same thing? And we are the ones who are, praising you. Okay. Or you need someone else, Okay. And Allah told him, Inni alamu ma la ta'lamu. Okay. I know what you don't know. So they did not know what's going to happen. And Allah has clarified it. Okay. Inni alamu, I know. Okay. You don't know. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Allah creates. I'm not going to go for nasnas and jinnat. Okay, I'm going to go insan. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to be too lengthy. Okay. So Allah created, and the first creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was Adam, of course. Okay. Adam is created, okay, and Adam has been given one hidayah, and that hidayah is simple. That Quran mentions, La taqraba hadha isha. Don't go near this tree. Adam has not been told about salat or siyam or anything as yet. Sharia is not there as yet. He was in the human form. He is in the human form, and he is surrounded like paradise. Okay. One demand only. La taqraba. Don't go near. There are many interpretations, okay, of that shajar. What was that? Bible talks about it as a tree of life, for example, or tree of knowledge, for example. Okay. we talk about just a tree, for example, what Quran has mentioned. There are those who interpret it slightly differently, and they say that when Adam was created and angels were told to bow before him, make sajda, prostrate before him, Adam saw bright lights on the arsh, 5 of them. These lights were the test for Malaika by some tradition. Okay. The lights were there and the names were given. And the Malaika were asked, coordinate the names and the light. 5 names and 5 lights. Malaika could not coordinate. Okay. They were dazzled by that light. Okay. Adam looked at the lights and looked at the names, and he was able to relate the light to the name. Okay. He saw the first light as the most brilliant, okay, most beautiful, okay, and nothing but praise could be done regarding it. And he said, this is Muhammad, and so on. Okay. He won, okay, and Malaika lost. Okay. After the episode, he was told by this account, once again, there's an account that I'm mentioning. When he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, about these further, he was told it's because of them that creation has come into existence. Okay. And they would be in your progeny at a later time. But don't ever think of being equal to them. Even though they would be in your progeny. This account tells us, okay, La takraba means don't even think about it. Okay. And the waswasa that came to him, okay, was a thought that I wish I was like them. And that was understood. It's not eating an apple, okay, from a particular tree, okay. It is the desire to be like that. Okay. So verily, one who thinks that he can be like Muhammad alayhi salatu, okay, or Ali alayhi salatu, or Hasnan Kariman Islamullah alayhim, okay, invites nothing but the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. तो हो नहीं सकता, ये तस्वुर भी नहीं आना चाहिए कि कभी कोई उनके बराबर हो जाएगा. That's one account. One, okay. Well, general is, of course, that they were told not to go to a tree, okay, La takraba, and the waswasa came, you know, and they went. It is said that shaitan, you know, by some accounts, put in their mind, whatever it is, you know. When you are talking about the prophets, you have to be particular. Okay. Isn't the prophet immune to shaitan? And Adam was created as prophet. Fil arz khalifa, isn't it? He is representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Would shaitan be able to persuade him? I leave it to those who discuss those things. I have a scant understanding, and I would say simply what Quran says: going near the tree, la taqraba hadha shay'a. And the result was that they came to earth, okay? And the first family started. Okay? Of course, Allah forgave them. رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَّمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Quran says that they prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they were forgiven. Okay, that's the end of the story. Okay, now the humanity starts. Okay, for this humanity, there is that essential universal guidance, which is for everyone, for existence. Okay, a child is born. Okay, and he's looking for his mother's breast. Okay, to be fed. Okay, he cries when he's wet. Okay, the life goes on. Okay, that guidance is for survival. That guidance is for keeping the life constant. Okay, then the relationship between man and woman. Okay, to propagate the race. Okay, continues. Okay, so that universal guidance, which comes with the powers that Allah has granted us, okay, the power of intellect, that we may make decisions. If you don't have intelligence, you can't make decisions. Okay, power of intellect. Okay. The power of anger that saves us in situations. The power of passion, so that we are able to eat, drink, and propagate. Okay. Those are basic fundamental powers given to all human beings. Okay. Okay. But do they lead to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way Allah wants? For that, Allah has given what is called Sharia. That guidance is prophetic guidance. The earlier guidance is universal guidance. Okay. एक हिदायत तकवीनी है और एक हिदायत तशरीई है. The first is universal guidance and the second is prophetic guidance. Prophets. The first person to come on the earth as a human being is a prophet. Adam is a prophet. Okay. So with the creation, the prophetic guidance has started. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not left a single moment without that guidance. Okay. For that guidance, there are three things. Allah. Number one, a teacher, a guide. Okay. Because without a teacher, that's why the first person is a prophet. Okay. Second is a set of rules. Okay. Without set of rules, nothing helps. Okay. And third is a person who is receptive. If the person is not receptive, okay, and that is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you the right. You don't have the right regarding the prophet. Prophet comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't elect or select him. Okay? Because he has to be masoom. He has to be sinless. Sinless is a very light word, and infallible is another word that is used. But masoom is masoom. Okay? Masoom is a person who does not even think of disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yeah. Okay. That person, okay. So that's not in your control. Number one, that's not. Number two, set of rules. You are not given the right to make rules. The rules come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Syllabus जो है, course जो है, निसाब जो अल्लाह की तरफ से आता है, ठीक है, किताब अल्लाह की तरफ से, हिदायत अल्लाह की तरफ से आती है. You don't have the right to set rules, alter them, or change them. That's it. What he has said, he has said. And third is the reception. That's where your right is. Now you accept it or you reject it. Inna hadaynahu as-sabil imma shakiran wa imma kafura. Okay? We have shown you the way. It's for you to accept or reject it. Okay? Or in Surah Muzammil, inna hadha tazkira faman sha'a ittakhadha ila rabbihi sabila. Okay? Yeah. Like Rafiddin. Okay? So everywhere in Quran, okay, this choice, you know, is there. Okay? You accept it or you reject it. Okay? You don't have a choice in the appointment of the guide. That's why we say that the representation from the Prophet or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in your hands. You know. Allah does that. Okay? That's it. He has appointed. ये reception आपका. Okay. A heart that is receptive, you know, is different than a heart that's rejecting. Okay. How is it so? Quran has used the word salim for a heart that's receptive. Okay. A heart is like a mirror. Okay. It's like a mirror. Okay. And the guidance is light. Okay. If the mirror is clean, okay, the reflection of light is complete. If the mirror is dirty, it's distortion. Okay. So you have to purify yourself to be, you know, able to fully absorb the light. A heart that is darkened does not absorb the light. Okay. There are things that are needed, you know, for the light to be absorbed. You have to clean the surface. Quran has used the words, both words, okay? And today we are being told that even within heart muscles, okay, there are cells that go through thought process. Okay? Wallah, how? You have to keep up with science, you know, to understand, you know. As Abdullah ibn Abbas said, that the time in future would explain Quran. Okay. This book is universal, and this book is guidance for all times to come. Okay. Yeah. So, there was an article a few days ago about neurons in the brain, okay, and their links, okay, into consciousness, and whether there is a universal consciousness that is there, okay, with which the link is possible. I don't know, you know. It is too far-fetched for me, you know. I'm not, you know, a scientist, okay, but amazingly, people are working on things, okay. I wish the Muslims would have taken the cue from the teachings of the Prophet and his family, okay, to arrive at such conclusions much faster than anyone else. If that's the real. Okay. So yes, that's set. Okay. When we say qalb, okay, is the physical heart, or is it the intellectual inner self that we are talking about? Okay. My understanding is that it's intellectual inner self, not just the physical heart. That's pumping a station. Okay. Yes, it does have cells, and maybe in the future we come to know that even the skin has cells. You know, that would be in that process. Who knows? Okay, we don't know as yet. Okay? But that intellectual center of ours, okay, is the brain, mind, heart, whatever you call it. Okay, and that's the one that is responsible for the life's existence, okay, and understanding, knowledge of things around and beyond. Okay. What is the moment of death? Okay. We say that is the spirit leaves him. That's what we say generally, that the spirit leaves the body. Okay. Is the moment of death. Okay. What is the physical evidence of it? I usually say, imagine for a moment that you are on a computer. Okay. You have the screen, as you have right there, right? And you are looking at whatever you want to look at. There's the life. Okay. The only bounds are the capacity, the CPU. Okay. And you extend that CPU, the capacity increases. As you increase the knowledge, it increases. But there's an infinite time that's not in your reach. It's limited, finite. Okay. You are using the energy through battery, okay, and you get the sign 50% battery left and 20% left. If you don't keep it connected to the power source, a time would come when the battery would be over. Even though your CPU contains every single thing that you have seen, visited, or kept the memory of, okay, but you are unable to function anymore. Death is the disconnection of the power from human life. And that's why your CPU, your inner self, would retain everything what you have done. And on the day of judgment, it will be put against you. Things that you visited and you forgot about it, but they're there. The sights you saw, okay. So the moment of death is that disconnection. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the guidance in the form of prophets, his messengers, and the code of conduct that he wants you to follow. Okay. And the choice is yours. Now with that choice, okay, when Quran says, you know, we have guided, okay, it's not only for Quran, it's for Torah, okay, Injil, both, because both of these, you know, Torah and Injil, are again from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are not the creation of prophets Musa and Isa. Right? Old Testament and New Testament in this form that they say, but actual Torah and actual Injil are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Ma'idah, 5th Surah of Quran, verse number 44. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna anzalna at-Tawrata fiha hudam wa nur. We send Torah in which there was guidance and light. Quran acknowledges that the earlier books by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were also full of guidance and light. Okay. Similarly, in the same surah, verse number 46, talks about Injil in the same way. Injil fiha hudan wa nur, and also Injil in which there was guidance and light. Okay. Quran says, قل من أنزل الكتاب الذي جاء به موسى نورا وهدى للناس. For Prophet. This is on Surah An'am, verse 191. Ask them, who revealed the books to Musa, who came with guidance? Okay. Quran said, once again about Torah. Okay. It's Surah Araf, verse number 154. وَلَقَدْ جَئْنَاهُمْ بِكِتَابٍ وَفِي نُسْخَتِهَا هُدًى وَرَحْمَةً لِلَّذِينَ هُمْ لِرَبِّهِمْ يَرْهَبُونَ. For those who fear their Lord. That's guidance. Also in Quran, Surah An'am 154 again. ثم آتينا موسى الكتاب تماما, the complete book to Musa. It's not that the guidance was not given. Surah Mu'minun, 23rd Surah of Quran, verse number 49. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَهْتَدُونَ. He gave Musa the book. Yes, they were guided. In many other places, Quran talks about the guidance to the prophets, or to our prophet. Okay. For example, in Surah Yunus, verse number 108. Ya ayyuhan nas qad ja'akum al-haq min rabbikum. The truth has come to you from your Lord. وَمَنِ اهْتَدَى فَإِنَّمَا يَهْتَدِي لِنَفْسِهِ. Who is guided for himself. وَمَنْ ضَلَّ فَإِنَّمَا يَضِلُّ عَلَيْهِ. And the one who goes astray is for himself. Okay? وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِوَكِيلٍ. I'm not guardian over them. Do what you want. So you have been given complete choice. Okay? That you accept, it's your choice. You reject, it's your choice. And it's not going to be any compulsion on you, la ikraha fit din. Okay, there's no compulsion. Right? It's your choice. Okay. So stages of guidance, inshallah, will start next week. I, in one of my lectures, had given slight idea about the stages. What are the stages, and we'll be going in the details, inshallah, next week. Okay. Hopefully, bi'idhnillah. Okay. Bi'idhnillah. Okay. Any questions? Yes, yes.